Hey y'all, today I'm going to show you how to create a back croquis template using a reference photo. You can find this photo in the description box below to print to follow along. And once you've got that, let's get started. So we're going to start off by finding that smallest part of the waist and draw that horizontal line across. You're going to mark your key points, which are your joints, so your shoulders, elbows, wrists, knees, and ankles. All right, so now we're gonna draw our straight line across our back shoulder line and create that triangle at about the center of that waistline mark. And then we're gonna create our second triangle for the bottom part of our torso. Put in a little tiny dot for the crotch, and we're gonna connect those lines from the waist to that back crotch point. We're gonna draw that center line down the top of the torso for the neck. Since this is the center of her back, now place your ruler here, line it up, and then just drop that line down. While I'm here at the neck, I'm gonna go ahead and just trace out her head. All right, once you got the head traced out, we're gonna go ahead and start connecting those lines. So for our arms, I'm gonna freehand these. So just connect the dots. Make our little triangle and repeat on the right arm. And then you can draw your little half triangle for the hand. I'm just gonna put 2 lines right here for those fingers. All right, let's go down to the legs, and at the center of the second triangle, we're gonna connect it all the way down to that knee dot, and then from the knee dot all the way down to the ankle dot, and then we're gonna draw our triangle here for the foot. Okay, repeat on the right hand side from that center of that bottom triangle. And then draw that triangle for the shoe. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put the circle in for the heel and that line, just so that we know where that heel stops. So now from here, if you want to go ahead and trace out that skeleton framework, you can, or you can go ahead and transfer it by either eyeballing it on your sketch paper or measuring it out. So in the first video, I showed how to measure it out and create that back view. Since I've already shown how to do it, just by measuring the triangles out, measuring the lines out, and transferring over to the paper, I'm going to show you how to eyeball it using your fingers. Okay, so I'm going to use my thumb to get that waistline. So this line, and this will be different for everyone. So my waistline hits from the tip of my thumb to almost the base of my thumb. I'm just making that mark. Okay, and to get my straight lines, I'm going to use the ruler. And I'm just going to measure this to show you. It may not be an exact measurement. So that line is coming out to be about 2 inches. Let's check it. And 2 inches exactly. So either way, if you use like your ruler to get the exact measurement, or you use your thumb and your fingers, both ways will work for transferring this over. Whichever way feels best to you is fine. There's hundreds of different ways how to draw something. So with these tutorials, I just want to make sure that you see it a few different ways, so that way you can choose the one or choose the method that you're most comfortable doing, so that way you have a really good outcome. All right, so let's continue. All right, that center line. Okay, and don't worry, I'm not gonna measure it with a ruler every single time. Again, like I said, I'm using my finger here as those primary guidelines. So from my index fingertip to about where my knuckle hits is the shoulder line. I'm gonna bring that line down a little bit, because even looking at it, I drew it a little bit too high. So that is okay. That's why we got our eraser. And what did Bob Ross say? Happy little accidents. So, draw Drawing that triangle in. Okay, so her shoulder dots are about there. Elbow dots about here, so slightly lower than that waistline. Maybe bring this out a little bit. The wrist dot lining up with that crotch dot just a bit, and it looks like it's slightly higher on that side. And then for her legs, you want to still start at the center. Okay, so that looks like it hits from the tip of my fingertip down to the base of my index finger. I'm just gonna line it up like that. Drawing that knee dot. Ankle dots hitting about here. Okay, alrighty, so we've got all our dots in now. So shoulders, elbows, wrists, knees, and ankles. Let's start connecting our dots. So we'll do the arms first and then the legs. Now, again, this one's going to be a little bit more freehand, but of course, if you want to use your ruler at any time, you can. We got our shoulder to elbow and elbow to wrist. And at the end of the wrist, we're going to do the triangle for the hand. And I'm going to put those two little line shapes in for the fingers. Now, part of her hand will disappear when we start going in, drawing the hips. But for now, you can mark it like this. So on the other side, I'm going to do that little kind of half triangle or half rectangle shape with the two diagonal lines at the end of it. Well, let's do the legs. From the center of that bottom triangle all the way down to the knee dot. Same on the right hand side. From the center of that triangle, and then take it all the way down to the knee dot. And then from the knee dot, I'm going to take it down to the ankle dot. Same on the right side, from the knee dot down to the ankle dot. Fill that in a little bit more. Okay, and at the end of the foot, we're going to draw that triangle. Now, make it a little bit bigger. Now for this triangle, it's going to be flat on this side. And then next to that dot, small dot, we're going to draw that big dot for the heel. And then bring that line straight down. Erase this extra little line here. On the right side, I'm going to draw the triangle in first. So this one's going to go straight down from the ankle dot. I'm going to draw that big circle for the heel. Then draw that line in for the heel, and we're going to extend it down past that triangle. So actually, I'm going to elongate that triangle just a tad bit more. And then before I forget about the head, let's not forget about the head. So since her head's turned to the side, we're going to make a teardrop shape off to the side. So I'm going to curve just a bit past that line. So we're going to make the point stop here. and then bring this back up. Okay, so we're gonna draw a line, vertical line to connect on the right hand side of that straight line. And we're gonna draw another vertical line, our neck shape. Okay, and the top third from the shoulder point down the arm, we're gonna draw our oval in. Bottom 2/3 of the line for the arm, we're gonna draw another oval in about the same width as the first oval. And on the right hand side, so from the elbow dot to the wrist dot in the top third, we're gonna make another slightly smaller teardrop oval on the left and the right. This is gonna be the forearm. You can do this one in one shot. You can make an elongated teardrop oval for that forearm down to the wrist, or you can break it up just like we broke up the top part of the arm. The reason why I do this is when you think of anatomy, this top part, that's your bicep, bottom part, the rest of your arm. This top part here is that round part of your forearm, and then it carries down. So, okay, and then we're gonna blend that line down to the wrist, and then we're gonna just kind of outline that dot. All right, let's go back up to the torso. In the top third of the triangle, that's where you're gonna start your body line, and because it's hidden just a little bit, we're gonna kind of carry it down the waist here. And what I'm doing is I'm looking at my reference photo too for the shaping. So we're gonna kind of take it from the top third and kind of curve this down. Kind of curve it in. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put that little line there for the back of the arm. All right, and then we're gonna move on to the leg. So I'm gonna start with the left leg, and I'm just gonna take it down to that knee dot. So what we're doing here is we're kind of making a sort of a teardrop, elongated teardrop shape. So we're gonna go back in and play with this a little bit. Same on the right hand side. Now I'm making this one just a little bit flatter just because like her hip popped at an angle. So this one's gonna turn out. I'm gonna go past her arm here. The way we're drawing this template, if her hand was behind her, if you see it in the reference photo here, her hand's a bit more in front, but we still want to draw in that shape just in case if you're drawing it with her hand a little bit more behind her. I'm putting my hand behind me like y'all can see what I'm doing right now. Sorry about that. But if her hand falls a little bit more behind her, we can still keep this in just so that way you have that. We're going to go ahead and move down to the calves. So I'm going to draw in the top third again. So sort of circle. And similar to our front view, just like her leg was kind of overlapping, that calf muscle was overlapping a little bit further inward. We're going to draw our circle so that way it overlaps just a little bit more inward. And then again with this right leg, that circle in the top third will be a little bit more center. And then we're going to carry the line down on both sides, down to the ankle. I'm just going to blend that line down to that ankle point. And if you can see it, when we bring the line down, it's going to overlap that dot. Okay, now what I want to do is go back into the top of the torso, because as I'm looking at it, it's she's looking a little bit more boxy than I want her to look. So if this happens to you, again, because we eyeballed it and we didn't measure it exactly, like I said, it may come out looking a little bit crazy. But again, you can always go back in and fix it, play around with the proportions. You can play around with it until it looks the way you want it to. That's why you got your handy dandy eraser. So what I'm gonna do is go through and speed sketch this. I won't be speed sketching, but I'm gonna speed this part up because I am gonna go back in and fix her proportions just a bit, and then I'll come back and then we'll finish it up. All right, so for the neck, I'm just gonna blend this back in to the shoulder line. On both sides. But we're not going for perfection here. Not today. All right, so we got our neck blended down. We're gonna finish with shaping her out. So we're just gonna follow along the contours here. Okay. And trace back over it, so it's all good, y'all. All right, so we're just gonna blend those little outlines to connect. It almost looks like she's grabbing the back of her leg. It's gonna irk me just a bit. So, oh gosh. Okay, I'm gonna move this triangle out here. Okay, just so that way it doesn't look like she's grabbing the back of her thighs. That's weird. All right, we're gonna finish blending out the leg on both sides here. Okay, we're gonna draw that heel shape in. So you're gonna draw an upside down U to connect that circle, that triangle to the circle to that heel, and then blend this back down from the circle to that vertical line. Okay. And we're gonna make a kind of half circle on there to represent the front visible part of the shoe. Okay, and then on this side, we're gonna blend the knees into the calf. And for that shoe, we're gonna make a curvy bowed line here, just to kind of show the back of the heel. And then we're gonna go on the right hand side of it, extend that triangle out. That way you have the heel shape. Okay. All right, let's go back up to the bum. Now, because she's in the jeans and you can sort of kind of see here the bumps, don't want to call it a bump smile, but I mean, what else would you call it? Or the cheeks. So on this right hand side, we're gonna make the cheek here, and on this side, same idea. So we don't want them absolutely symmetrical because her legs kind of extended here. I'm gonna shape out her calf just a little bit more. We're almost home free. Okay, now we're gonna draw the final underwear line. Make that curved line blending back into the hip. And then blend it down right to the cheeks. That's looking more like a thong. I'm gonna make that a little bit wider. A little bit wider for some more coverage to make it more like a brief. We're gonna draw our guidelines in. So for the neckline, just make a Make a curved line at the top of the neck, and it is going to be raised a little bit from this triangle line here. And then from the center of the shoulder, we're just going to bring that vertical line down to the waistline. And then from that waistline where that back princess line stopped, we're going to bring it down to the underwear line, just make it curve slightly outward. Same on the right hand side, just curve it. I'm going to bring 2 little lines up here at the neck for the back of the head. Once you've done that, if you're happy with the way she looks, you can go ahead and trace her out in pen or a black marker. And voila, you've got your back template. And if you found this tutorial helpful, then check out more videos like this right over here. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, y'all, keep sketching, keep sewing, and keep the momentum going. Take care.